Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and the fetus living inside Megan's womb, and welcome to The Struggle, a news talk show powered by a regrettable administration error. I'm your host, Matilda, and welcome. Tonight we'll be discussing ScoMo, the Him Too movement, and those thousands of refugees we just keep rejecting. Now, let's turn our attention to a stuffy old family with unbelievable amounts of nepotistically entrenched wealth whose very existence only serves to remind us of the deep feudal shackles we were once bound by under millennia-long dictatorship. Who are clearly a hit with the millennials. That's right, the royals are in town, and much like captives slowly falling in love with their kidnappers, we are flocking to go see the Ranger and his far superior wife. Well, unfortunately for me, the producers here at The Struggle are fans. We cross now live to Frida Loader at Government House, who has a special gift for Hazza and Meggie.
Hi, yes, Matilda, I'm here at Government House Drive with crowds that are lining up to meet Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, the royal couple, on their Royal Australian tour. It's a very exciting time, and we here from The Struggle have brought our own royal avocado as a gift for Meghan and Harry, the expecting couple, for their child. It's got lots of nutrients. It'll remind them of their trip here in Melbourne, and in a way it is an embodiment of the city itself that they're visiting here today. It's very exciting times here. The crowd is going a bit wild. We've got our tiaras ready, we've got our flag waving. It might get a little out of control. Who's to say? The couple themselves are going to be down here visiting members of the public, but also going on a tram ride and visiting the local beach. Royals, they're just like us. So exciting. Now we're just going to go speak to some royal fans to just get their ideas and views on the whole matter. Was it difficult to get photos of Harry when the sun was sort of reflecting off his bald spot a lot?
Oh, it was, but where there's a will, there's a way. You'll move around and make sure you get your photos and what you need.
When I used to know him in London, he didn't have a bald spot when he was this size.
What was she like in person?
She was really nice and pretty, yeah.
So did you say I love you to Harry? And did he say it back? Oh, that's so lovely.
I like to say to them, especially send them my love, and to have a beautiful stay in Melbourne and all over Australia as well.
Another royal visit, done and gone. We'll have to wait another 4 years for the next one. And I didn't even get to give my royal avocado. I hope you're happy, Meghan.
Thanks, Frida. Now, moving on to sports. Now the goals have been taken down and the pitches have been mowed, young Australians have begun getting outside to have a bat, as opposed to the usual staying inside to have a bat. Here are Fitzy and the big dog with all the fucking cricket news.
Thanks, Dog. Fitzy once again with Dogger by my side.
So I'm not even big now?
See, I'll tell you what, the weather's warming up, the flowers are starting to bloom, nature is really getting ready to put on my favourite season.
Yes, there is something truly romantic and beautiful
That's
about
right, it's
spring.
cricket season. I'll tell you what, Big Dog, I've been tampering with my balls all winter waiting for this moment. The first test against Pakistan took place in Dubai a couple of weeks ago, and boy didn't we serve it up to them.
It took an incredible effort just to eke out a draw. Wouldn't exactly call that giving it to them.
Correct, BD. Yet another display of dominance considering the governing body cruelly banned our superstars. Smithy, Warner, Bancroft.
Cruel. They banned them for cheating.
Cheekily wiping the ball. Like, there was nothing malicious about it.
Spencer, if we don't start taking responsibility for our own actions, we're going to lose the reputation for good sportsmanship Aussie athletes have been building for over 100 years.
Please, the ball tampering scandal was just a conspiracy drummed up by the Labor Party to spark an Australian leadership coup. Look it up.
The suspensions paved way for Aaron Finch, Travis Head and Marnus Labuschagne to make their test debuts.
Labuschagne, it's pronounced Labuschagne.
I'm pretty sure
Marcus
it's pronounced.
Labuschagne and Head were both dismissed for ducks in the first innings before the boys in baggy green held on against the powerhouse Pakistan lineup, including Yunus Khan, Shahid Afridi,
They're retired.
Virat Kohli,
He's not even Pakistani.
Usman Khawaja.
He's Australian. He played in the test against Pakistan.
Boy, oh boy, did he. A combined innings score of 226 helped the Aussies bat out the final 2 days, giving them the chance to win the series.
The crowd went wild. That's all from us, Matilda. Back to you.
Wow, sounds like the game's never going to be the same. We're going to have a quick break, but we'll be right back, so don't go anywhere. Welcome back. We turn now to people undermining the suffering of sexual assault survivors, which seems like a very 2017 thing to do, but here we are. With all this widespread recognition of the systematic issues of sexual assault and harassment in today's society, some people are forgetting the real victims here. Men. Many, including our fave President Trump, have been discussing how it's a scary time for young men. You know, sort of like it's been a scary time for young women since the whole of human history. A concerned mother in the US has taken to Twitter to share exactly how bad things have gotten. She posted, "This is my son. He graduated #1 in boot camp. He is a gentleman who respects women. He won't go on solo dates due to the current climate of false sexual accusations by radical feminists with an axe to grind. I vote #him too." Now, there are a lot of things wrong with this tweet. I mean, there's the fact that in America and Australia, men are far more likely to be victims of sexual assault than falsely accused of it. So actually having a society that's hyper-vigilant and vocal about sexual assault makes her son safer. Or we could talk about the fact that implying the only people who report sexual assault are feminists with an axe to grind, which is one, a gross misrepresentation of reality, and two, unbelievably hurtful to survivors. Or maybe, just maybe, we could listen to her son, the very one who is pictured in this photograph and is afraid to go on solo dates, has also come out and said his mother made it all up and is actually a vehement supporter of the Me Too movement. That's right, Peter Hansen tweeted saying, "I respect and #believe women. I never have and never will support #him too." I mean, it's always a bummer to have your mum on social media, but inviting your great aunt Angela over to dinner in the comment section of your profile pic pales in comparison to this. Well, if there's one thing we've learnt from this whole affair, it's that it's now apparently fair game to co-opt poignant and powerful social media terms and use them for whatever cause you want. In fact, I've just gotten word that the Catholic Church has jumped on the bandwagon. They're sick of their priests being accused of molestation and pedophilia. In fact, there's now been so many stories of children coming forward to report abuse that priests are afraid to be in the confession box alone with them. That's #him too. And that's not all. Stoners are sick and tired of being accused of driving under the influence all the time. In fact, there have been so many reports by police that stoners are afraid to go on solo drives alone. #hemp too. In fact, there are so many communities that are suffering from this political climate. Seamstresses and tailors are being accused over and over again of shoddy workmanship. In fact, there are so many stories coming out of people being ripped off by their tailors that they're afraid to sew alone anymore. #hemtoo. And obviously farmers are facing the same issues. That's #himmoo. And don't even get me started on the paranormal assault accusations being thrown around. Is no ghost safe anymore? #himboo. I mean, the climate for men is terrible, but for twins it's even worse. So many male twins are now being accused of sexual assault that they now need to bring each other along on dates. That's #himtoo. And obviously there needs to be a slight adaptation for conjoined twins. They have to bring along someone else entirely. That's #him3. And trust me, it's all kinds of men that are being thrown under the bus here. Short men are not immune from these radical feminists. That's why we have #mini-me-too. And don't you dare think you're safe just because you're playing a get-to-know-me exercise on the first day of your drama class. #2 truths and a lie. And salsa dancing is a minefield now. #me, it takes two to tango. But this whole issue started long ago. In fact, the rock star Bono's mum was so afraid he'd be accused of assault that she wouldn't let him be a solo artist, instead forcing him to play in a band. That's #you too. Now, we have some controversy involving the church for a change, and what can only be described as time travel gone wrong. Thanks to Philip Ruddock's review of the impact of marriage equality on religious freedoms, it looks like we're headed back to a time where discrimination was actively encouraged. Recommendation 7 of the leaked review suggests that religious schools should be able to reject kids based on their sexual identity, gender identity, or relationship status, if justified by the religious teachings of the school. And it didn't take ScoMo long to remind everyone that this isn't a new concept.
Well, they already can. That's the existing law. That's the existing law. Well, it's the existing law. And we're not proposing to change that law, to take away that existing arrangement that exists.
But he was quick to change his tune.
Are you comfortable with schools being saying no to gay kids? Why don't you just say, no, I'm not comfortable with that at all?
Well, I'm not comfortable with it.
Look, it must have been incredibly hard to remember which side of the debate you're on when it comes to discrimination, so at least we're glad that the PM's found a way to remind himself of what his job is. And while Bill Shorten was quick to condemn the recommendation...
No way. The fact of the matter is that every child's entitled to human dignity. We shouldn't even be having this debate.
It was actually the Labor Party who introduced the law in question back in 2013. With all the indecision and backflipping on policies, it seems our politicians need to relax for a minute. And what better way to do that than with a kombucha?
It's a sort of fermented tea. I think it's called, I can't remember what the name of this thing is. It's Zest is the name of the company, and it's a...
Kombucha?
Yeah, that's it, kombucha.
Well, if the millennial wonder drink isn't a good enough morning pick-me-up, why not have a 9 a.m. schooner? In a rare occurrence, Pauline Hanson has for once refrained from this debate. But we here at The Struggle are committed to covering a diverse range of political opinions. So we cross now to our far-right correspondent Pauline Hansung, who is with a member of the LGBTQ plus community, Henry.
Do you think that LGBTQ plus whatever students or teachers belong at school?
Of course. I believe that in the school everybody belongs.
How do you justify children literally shitting on the Bible?
Have you ever been to a public library? Because if you go there and you go to the kids section, you probably will see some poo in Harry Potter's book as well. The problem is not the Bible or Harry Potter. The problem is the kids. Sometimes they poo in the wrong place. So I believe that kids are being normal. And I think like the problem to be people talking about shitty stuff with the Bible is why they are trying to...
Excuse me, but Harry Potter is literally a satanic book.
Oh, yeah.
It has witches, demons, ghosts. Why would you compare the Holy Bible of Jesus Christ to a fictional, satanic book?
I don't know, I'm just talking about magical stuff like walking on the water and making magic.
Magical?
I'm talking about the Bible right now.
You know what else is magical and fictional?
What?
Homosexuality.
Oh, yeah. So why are you dressing like a Harry Potter character?
Excuse me, I don't read any of that leftist propaganda.
Oh, sorry. You should read more.
What do you think about the Greens' intention to introduce a bill that would get rid of religious exemption to discrimination law?
Bills for school pay. Oh my God, that's amazing. I just think that you can pay my bills, you can pay my automobiles, you can pay my telephone bills, and still I
May the power of Christ compel you.
So you on me are screwed.
Okay, I'm getting out of here. I'm done
who
with
should pay
all
the
of this.
bills. So
I'm done. I'm done. I'm done.
Holy Jesus.
Oh, Pauline, as per usual, you've probably got our show into a bunch of legal trouble. We're going to take a quick break to check in with our lawyers. Hello again. In more political news, we have a new immigration minister on the block. Minister Alan Tudge is haunting us with a prospective migration policy that's been recently announced. Among other things, the new policy would make migrants live out of Sydney and Melbourne for at least a few years, keeping them away from anything that matters.
Well, the essential problem, Natalie, that we've got is we've got very fast population growth in Melbourne, Sydney and South East Queensland, and yet we have very little growth in some of the smaller states and in the regions, and indeed in those places they're often crying out for more people.
Tudge's new policy would affect about 45% of migrants who are part of the skilled migrant category not tied to geographic areas. And if you do not abide by the conditions, it could affect your chances at permanent residency or citizenship in Australia. This guy Tudge is starting to seem pretty much like the second coming of Peter Dutton. Now, initially it looked like ScoMo might actually be reasonable on this matter after his comments following Abbott's proposed migrant cut in February.
And the permanent immigration intake that we have today is exactly the same as it was when he was Prime Minister. And I don't recall at any time there was any discussion that that should be lowered at that time.
However, it appears Tudge may be persuading Morrison into believing otherwise. So we'd like to tell our Prime Minister that although he may not be nailing the job just yet, this is a chance to finally do something right. What with opposing marriage equality, generally being homophobic, and favouring high-income earners back in the 2015 budget, ScoMo is due for a good decision. The reverse Robin Hood just loves to let us down. At The Struggle, we maintain a diverse workplace and proud of it. We cross now to our miscellaneous correspondent, Tavleen, who recently got her permanent residency status confirmed. I'm sure she can understand the plight of migrants.
Thank you, Matilda. As I was telling my friends yesterday, I think it's great what Taj is doing. It's about time that someone teaches these migrants a lesson. I mean, what do they think? They can just come here in our cities and live? I mean, seriously? Like when I came here, I moved to the city right away. That's because I assimilated into the city easily. But these new migrants, I don't think they have what it takes to do that. To top that off, there's seriously going to be an infrastructure crunch if this thing continues. I mean, think about it. What about the land spaces we are going to give them to live on? What about shopping malls? What about my plans for lands? Who needs housing expansions? I want a Starbucks. And pushing them into the rural areas seems to be too kind anyways. If it's a solution, I'm hoping it's a temporary one. I have plans of my own expansion, and if all the available land is going to be taken over by these lazy migrants, what am I going to do? They're going to rip apart my expansion plans for the farming lands that I have. And for what? They couldn't hack it in their own countries and they've come to ruin ours? Whatever, people. I'm telling you right now, don't allow these free-gooders, no useful pieces of
Okay guys, unfortunately we've had to cut Tavleen off due to time constraints, so we won't be able to hear any more of her rural development propaganda. What a shame. In other news, men are from Mars and women are from a planet where recycling actually fucking matters. A recent study cited by The Guardian found that eco-friendly behaviour is seen by both sexes as more feminine. Naturally, this has led to men avoiding anything beneficial to the environment, such as recycling or using reusable shopping bags out of fear that their masculinity might be tainted. Unfortunately, the only thing that's actually being tainted is our environment. Because now, on top of plastic pollution, increasing carbon footprints and climate change, we need to take measures to ensure that we don't hurt the male ego, which now, just like our planet, needs protection to survive. Men aren't complete jerks though. Maybe if us ladies didn't see saving the environment as feminine, men would be more willing to do it. Here at The Struggle, we are calling this new idea toxic femininity, which is the kind of thing that drove the Real Housewives of Melbourne insane.
You actually asked. I don't do barefoot. You don't do barefoot? No. She drives me crazy. She drives me crazy. She drives me crazy. It's like a bad nightmare.
I've seen enough of your ass. Can you go and put it away now?
In fact, another study found examples of advertising and marketing messages that are specifically designed to be more environmentally friendly. You know, with the help of masculine fonts, colours, words and images. Here are just a couple of examples. Keep cup. Buy one today for a sex-filled tomorrow. Or reusable shopping bags because plastic is for pussies. And finally, bamboo brush. They won't last long, but neither do you. Okay guys, that's it for our show. Don't forget to like, comment and enrol to vote in the state election by November 6th for fuck's sake. Goodbye from everyone here at The Struggle. It's real. No, thank you. No, thank you.